What up, boys, and welcome back to yet another video. So today we're going to be talking about BlizzCon and the new expansion War Within and my thoughts on it so far. Already made a video yesterday about my thoughts after the announcements, but yesterday we had the deep dive revealing a little bit more information. Before we dive into that though, just know that right now I'm doing a BlizzCon sale, so you guys can get any of the gold guides or join the VIP Discord for 69% off using the discount code BlizzCon. And just know that if you get the retail version, this one right here, from 0 to 10 million gold guide, that comes with a lifetime of free updates. So when there is pre-patch for the War Within, when the expansion itself releases, I'll update the gold guide with the best gold farms and methods to make gold with the new expansion War Within, and I'll send that version directly to your mail for free. So make sure to check that out with the link down below in the description, and don't forget to use the discount code BlizzCon. But yesterday and the deep dive, I did see a lot of people, especially in my community, who said they weren't super excited about the new expansion because it didn't quite catch their attention. And I want to respond to that by saying this is literally like every BlizzCon ever. They don't really give us too much information during BlizzCon. They reveal the next expansion, show us some of the zones, some of the new key features, dungeons, etc. But all those really small changes to systems and interface and all of that is revealed in like Q&As, maybe in like blue posts. You find some information about data mining, and there's a lot of cool stuff that we will see leading up towards the expansion. And we already have some of those things revealed right now. So I want to talk a little bit about what I'm excited for. Keep in mind, this is from like a gold making perspective, right? So the first thing, which is quite obvious, is the war bands and the bank. So this has the exact same size as the bank or the guild bank. You can have all your tunes in the warband. There was a lot of confusion about that because in the campfire login screen, you only see 4 characters in the warband. But like every single character that you can have on your account is in the same warband. So all of those characters can use the items that you would put into the warband bank. And this is a 98 slot bank slot, but it has tabs. We don't know exactly how many tabs, but seeing that it is the exact same amount of slots as the bank or the guild bank, and the same UI as you would find, like not in your bank but in your guild bank. I'm guessing it's also going to have the same amount of tabs, so it's going to be a total of 588 slots, like extra bank slots in that case. And you can use everything that's in your warband's bank on all your alts. So if you have a team of crafters like I do, crafting transmog, you can put all of your materials into the warband's bank, and all your crafters can just snatch materials out of the warband's bank. And that is really cool. One of my favorite changes so far, actually. And then on Wowhead, you also have something about dragon riding, which I think is really cool. They confirmed that the new standard, not just the expansion War Within, but patch 10.2.5 will bring dynamic flying to the old world as well. It's gonna be handy, like gathering, for instance, the time spent between veins and ore is going to be interesting. I think it's really cool because if I want to do a gold farm, it's going to be faster for me to reach the zone, and I just really like dynamic flying. So that's a great change. And a really interesting thing is that during a Q&A, they were like, some devs were asked if they had any plans for like the druid flight form, which I care a lot about since I play a druid for gold farming, to make that dynamic. And in their interview, they just said, we have nothing to announce. However, there's actually this post right here on Wowhead where Karasa, which is a WoW dev, like a software engineer for Blizzard, did reply to someone when they got asked the questions, like, any idea about druids possibly getting dynamic flight for their flight form, but missing my owl form old expansion? And that comes in 11.0, so it's coming, and that's really cool. That's really cool. Like druids are getting a lot of cool stuff this expansion. And I'm super excited about that. So that's another thing that got me excited about like druids and the war within is the talents naturally, which we saw at the deep dive where they specifically showed the druid talents. And the question I always get before a new expansion is, student, will druids still be the meta of gold farming like they have been for like the last expansions for decades? And definitely, it's very tough to beat the druid and their massive pulling power, massive AoE, their versatility. They're really, really good, self-sufficient, like they can heal themselves. They have no problem pulling lots of mobs, kiting them, rooting them in place, and looking at the Keepers of Grove tree specifically, which I definitely think will be used for gold farming. This is really good. Specifically, the Treants of the Moon. Your Treants casts Moonfire on nearby targets about once every 6 seconds. Now, once every 6 seconds doesn't sound like a lot, but we all know that when the expansion comes out, you're going to be gold farming in a 2x4 group with like 8 druids, maybe 7 druids, 1 monk. And when you have 8 druids using Treants, and the Treants are casting random Moonfires at all the mobs around them every 6 seconds, you're going to have Moonfires going off like right to left. It's going to be absolutely insane. And you also have increased damage to Starfall. The Treants generates astral power every 2 seconds, which means more astral power, more Starfalls. And the Druid is just looking really, really good right now. Keep in mind, everything is subject to change. Blizzard might be like, shit, this is actually too overpowered, even though I really doubt it, because they rarely look at it from like a gold-making perspective, like an open world grind. And like one druid by himself having Treants up that casts a Moonfire on a random target every 6 seconds is no biggie. It's not really good. It really isn't. But when you put a bunch of druids together in a gold farm scenario, it can become very good. So, super excited about the Keeper of Grove for balanced druids. Super excited about the Warband's bank system. That kind of answered my questions about the size of the bank. We don't know the amount of tabs, but we just have to assume it's the same as the guild tab. And then, of course, the fact that we'll be able to do dynamic flying everywhere, and also that it is coming to the Druid flight form, looking like a great expansion so far. Now, I do have some questions for the expansion that I hope they can answer before the expansion releases, and that is, what is Blizzard's plan on Gold Sync? Right, like prior expansions have always had some sort of gold sink because a healthy economy is a necessity to have a successful expansion. Are there going to be any good gold sinks? We know that Blizzard is now daffling around with customizable mounts, and I've always said this for years now. Why can't Blizzard do a customizable mount like the Longboy mount? And you can just buy a base mount, and then you can buy equipment for the mount, like maybe 5 million gold for a vendor on the mount, 5 million gold for an auction house on the mount, or a mailbox, and so on. Is the Longboy mount going to be reintroduced to the game? I don't know, but it would really be cool. It's a win-win for Blizzard. It's a nice gold sink. They obviously going to make a lot of money on all the people buying WoW tokens to be able to afford a 5 million gold mount. And yeah, like, I'm super interested in that. Other than that, when it comes to current content, as a gold farmer, I'm really excited to see which route we're going to take with world drops. Is it going to be like Dragonflight, which was, let's face it, extremely meh? Or is it going to be like BFA, which was absolutely insane, so much fun? Even Shadowlands was better than Dragonflight, because in BFA, you had one specific mount to every single zone in BFA that you could farm, like a World Drop Epic mount. You also had Epic BOEs, which you also had in Shadowlands, and that was a lot of fun. On top of that, in Dragonflight, you didn't have any mounts that you could farm, besides from like the Magma Shell and a couple specific items needed for the mount, but you couldn't farm a mount from humanoid mobs in the different zones like BFA. You also had nothing like nothing RNG to farm in the open world. There was no world drop epics because Blizzard really wanted people to focus on the new crafting system, which I kind of get. Like if you implement a system like that, which by the way I think is a good system, they should have kept on working on it throughout the expansion though. But the system in general is good, and I understand why they want people to use that rather than just farming epic BOE from world drops. But that's something that I hope Blizzard will reintroduce, and hopefully they're not lazy with collectibles either. I don't want to see like a mop expansion where the base green items share an appearance with every other item in the game. Like the BOE green items that you pick from the open world are the same appearance as the loot you get from quests. They share appearance with like 10 items. Absolutely horrible. Blizzard tends to do a better job of that when they introduce patches in the expansion, like for instance, right now with the Sarlacc Cavern unique look green items, you had the same thing with Nasyatar in BFA or Seraph Mortis in Shadowlands, but would it really take a lot of resources to do stuff like this from the beginning? You could literally, probably, even though I'm not an expert, but you could probably put one dev in charge of collectibles, so he makes sure that there's one open world mount in each of the new zones in War Within, maybe some specific battle pets that comes from killing specific creatures in the War Within. Every single green item that you get, like whatever it's cloth, leather, mail, or plates, it's going to have a unique appearance. It's not going to be a set you've seen before, and then further on into the expansion, when you release new zones, it's another set for cloth, leather, mail plate with a complete new appearance. Because that really adds to the longevity of the game as well, as Blizzard has been talking about. It gives you a reason to go back to the old content to farm these specific green armor sets that has a unique appearance. So hopefully Blizzard is thinking about stuff like that as well. But we're super early in terms of new things coming to the expansion War Within, so I'm super excited to keep on following the information that we're going to get in the next couple of days, weeks, and months. But please let me know what you think about the expansion and the things we know so far in the comment section down below. And don't forget to take advantage of the last day of the BlizzCon sale. Use code BlizzCon on checkout, link down below. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you all back in at tomorrow's video. Bye-bye.